everybody. News 4 is your election headquarters, and we thank you so much for sticking with us at 10:30. We have a lot more to get to tonight. Here are your election results as they're coming in. They should be scrolling at the bottom of your screen. I'm also going to tell you what the latest numbers are. The race for Buffalo mayor, with 82% of precincts reporting, Mayor Byron Brown, who's seeking his fourth term, is ahead of Mark Schroeder with 66% of the vote. Still impressive. Mark Schroeder has 28% of the vote. Let's go to the next key race we're following tonight. It is for Erie County Sheriff, with 52% of precincts reporting. It's a close race. Right now, the incumbent Sheriff Timothy Howard has 51% of the vote. His challenger, Democrat Bernie Tolbert, has 49% of the vote. We are also paying close attention to the race for Amherst Supervisor. You can see with 25% of precincts reporting, Brian Kolpa is ahead of Marjorie Yeager with 53% of the vote. Again, this is for Amherst Town Clerk. And for Erie County Clerk, you can see these are the latest results, with 52% of precincts reporting. Another close one, Mickey Kearns is edging ahead slightly with 51% of the vote, ahead of Stephen Cishon, who has 49% of the vote. But again, only 52% of precincts reporting. We want to get back to our live team coverage. Callan Gray is at Statler City, where the Democrats are. I believe she's live now with Bernie Tolbert, who is running for Erie County Sheriff. Good evening.
Good evening, Alina. As you mentioned, this is a very close race for Erie County Sheriff. Just 2 percentage points separating incumbent Sheriff Tim Howard from Democratic candidate Bernie Tolbert. How are you feeling right now?
Well, I'm a little tired because we've worked very hard, especially in the last couple of weeks. But I'm feeling buoyed and hopeful that at the end of the day we'll be in a good place.
Now, with the election so close right now, how do you think that the attack ads from your opponent had an effect on your campaign and the public's trust in you?
Well, the attack ads were untrue. Let me say that to start with. They were simply untrue. What effect they had, I'm not sure. I don't know. But I'm hopeful that people in Erie County will recognize that they weren't true. They'll know, if they don't know, get to know the person I am, and we'll move forward from there.
What is the biggest thing you hope to accomplish if you are elected sheriff? The first agenda item you want to tackle?
Well, I think the first, I'm not sure it's an agenda item, but I want to bring about leadership to the sheriff's office. I think there's been a lack of leadership from the top, and I want to restore pride and dignity in the sheriff's office. So that's where I'll start. I look forward to working with all of the hard-working men and women in the Sheriff's Department, working with them to get their ideas, get their thoughts, and together we'll, like I say, restore dignity and respect to the Sheriff's Office.
If you had a message for Erie County voters right now, what would it be?
That Bernie Tolbert stands ready to be the kind of sheriff that you deserve. I'll be ready to roll my sleeves up and start from day one to bring about the necessary changes and make sure that we're doing things in the sheriff's office that folks in Erie County are proud of. We'll treat people with respect and dignity. We won't participate in any kind of events, rallies or such that espouses hate and divisiveness. We're going to reach out. We want to include the entire community. We want the entire community to be a part of what we're going to do. And I look forward to that.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Tolbert. I appreciate your time. Good luck tonight. We are following a number of other races here tonight. As you mentioned, Nalina, Mayor Byron Brown is very far ahead in the race for mayor. As you mentioned, Comptroller Schroeder, who he lost to Mayor Brown in the primary. He is at 28%, which is pretty incredible. We are also keeping track of the Erie County Legislature races here, and we will bring you updates as soon as we have them. For now, reporting live at Democratic headquarters, Callan Gray, News 4.
Callan, thank you so much. All right, joining me live on set now is Democrat Len Linehan, Republican Carl Calabrese, who is with me at 5:30. Two political heavy hitters in Western New York for decades. Okay, gentlemen. Both wearing their red ties. Okay, tell me what you are seeing right now as these results are coming in. I mean, I have to tell you, the race for Erie County Sheriff and Erie County Clerk, very tight right now, and even Mark Schroeder has almost 30% of the vote. But you've also been watching the legislature races because the balance of power, it's with the Republicans, it could shift. But let's start with you, Len. What are you watching?
Well, the 5th District, where Tom Loudwin is the incumbent, he's been challenged by Gar Marlette 2 cycles in a row now. Tom is ahead as we speak right now. And in the district, the race out in Lancaster, Cheektowaga, the 8th District, where Ted Morton is the Republican incumbent being challenged by John Brusso, Brusso is ahead. Now, both these races are close, and they're not going to be decided in the next 10 minutes. So we're going to have to go into the next hour to find out who's going to win those races. But they're close.
What about you, Carl? What's your takeaways right now?
Those are the two races I was watching, and they are very close. And the majority of the county legislature could tip in the balance if those races come in certain ways. If Tom Logan retains his seat and John Brusso is successful in knocking off an incumbent Republican, you'll have a switch in the legislature. So lots of political pros are watching those two races very closely tonight.
What's your immediate reaction, Len? I'll start with you, to these tight races, because earlier we were talking, I was speaking with Carl at 5:30 about low voter turnout. But now we see these tight races, and again, the Buffalo City results are still coming in. What's your reaction to that?
Well, first, the turnout is up from 2 years ago, and from, well, not from 4 years ago, but 2 years ago, we're up about 10%. That's about 50,000 voters. That's a lot of votes. So I got to give Jeremy Zellner credit. He's recruited two great candidates, Bernie Tolbert for sheriff, Steve Seashon for clerk. Both very qualified. They put up good races. These are very close races right now, and again, won't be decided for a while tonight.
When will we get the official voter turnout numbers, too, and know?
Well, that'll be a few
That'll
days.
take a little bit.
The official will be a few days, but we're going to know by the end of tonight what's going on.
And Carl, you were going to say?
What I was going to say is these races for the county seats are tighter than a lot of people expected. It looks now that most of the city vote is in, which means we don't know what parts of Erie County suburbs have yet to report. So it's very close right now, but I've got a feeling that you may see Republican suburbs starting to come in that may change those votes. But they're tighter than a lot of people thought on the Republican side, I'll tell you that.
Let me give everybody a quick update right now. I just refreshed the page. For Erie County Clerk, Steve Seashon has 48% of the vote. Michael Kearns is ahead with 52%. The race for Sheriff, Bernie Tolbert, has 48%. Timothy Howard edged ahead 1 point with 52% of the vote. But again, those results are still coming in right now.
Let me say this. If Republicans win those three seats, even by a couple of percentage points, it's still a pretty impressive feat given the fact that Democrats outnumber Republicans in Erie County by 135,000. So it's a pretty tough stream to swim up to. And if the Republicans sweep all three, even if it's by a couple, 3 points, that's a big night for the Republican Party.
But I would counter that a little bit by also saying that the Republicans had the incumbents in all four races tonight. The three county-wides and the legislature, the Republicans are in control right now. And this is the low watermark turnout for Democrats. So even against that tide, Democrats are doing very well. These races are very close, a lot closer than people expected.
It's neck and neck, that's for sure.
We're going at it for the next hour.
We'll keep updating everybody. Carl Calabrese, Len Lenahan, Democrat, Republican, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And again, voter turnout, as we were just talking about, was a major push for the Democratic Party leading up to Election Day. The Democratic candidates for both county clerk and the sheriff are the underdogs. Democratic Committee Chair Jeremy Zellner says an estimated 68,000 fewer Democratic voters turned out today compared to the primary last year when Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton were on the ticket. He wants to make it clear these local elections matter too.
People need to participate. No matter what they hear, no matter what they see, there are some really good people running for office that want to serve the community. When they stay home, their voice isn't heard.
Zellner is also the Democratic Elections Commissioner. He says they focused on sending literature to party voters ahead of Election Day to get them to the polls. And remember, our Election Day coverage and evening coverage continues. Coming up in about 6 minutes, we're keeping an eye on the 3 ballot propositions. Again, voters voted down that constitutional convention. We will have the latest on the other 2 questions. You can also find minute-by-minute election results on our website, WIPB.com.